Welcome to Sky Broking Commodity Weekly Market Commentary. Disclaimer: this weekly market commentary is for information purpose only. Before taking any decision, consult a financial advisor. Major data of this week has economic and inflation related data and the major event like all OPEC JMMC meetings on Thursday. Now let's see the precious metals outlook. Gold and silver has news like the minutes from the Fed last meeting released earlier in this week showed that it favored additional 50 basis point rate hikes at its June and July 2022 meetings as per expectations. The US Treasury yields were subdued with the benchmark 10-year note hitting a fresh 6-week low. Inflation fears continue to dissipate even as data and corporate announcements point to slower economic growth. Fundamentally, this is positive news for precious metals, and technically speaking, gold may expect a range-bound trade in between 50,211 to 51,859 levels. Silver may expect a range-bound trade in between 60,540 to 63,878 levels. So these are this week's precious metals outlook. Now let's see the energy outlook. First is crude oil. It has a news like oil settles up ahead of US driving season. Fundamentally, this is a positive news for crude oil, and technically speaking, crude oil may expect a slight positive bias with resistance of 9,082 levels. Next is natural gas. It has a news like China, the world's top LNG importer last year, relies on imports to meet nearly half its gas needs. But its imports are forecast to shrink this year as the world's top energy consumer turns to cheaper coal. Fundamentally, this is a negative news for natural gas, and technically speaking, natural gas may expect a mild profit booking rally with support of 635.1 levels. So these are this week's energy outlook. Now let's see the base metals outlook. First is copper. It has a news like copper TCRCs fall for fourth consecutive week. This is fundamentally a slight negative news for copper, and technically speaking, copper may expect a mixed trade. Next is aluminum. It has a news like aluminum prices were supported by improving demand and falling stocks and the spots in East China. This is fundamentally a positive news for aluminum, and technically speaking, aluminum may expect a consolidation phase. Next is lead. It has a news like the falling inventory supported lead prices. This is fundamentally a slight positive bias news for lead, and technically speaking, lead may expect a profit booking on higher levels. Next is zinc. It has a news like most SHFE stocks decline except zinc. This is fundamentally a slight negative news for zinc, and technically speaking, zinc may expect a profit booking on higher levels. Next is for nickel. It has a news like nickel prices are likely to be supported by low pure nickel inventory amid weak supply and demand. This is fundamentally a slight positive news for nickel, and technically speaking, nickel may expect a slight positive bias. So these are this week's Commodity Weekly Market Commentary. For account opening, click the link in the description box below. Thank you by Sky Broking.